Hey beautiful people, welcome to another story time with me, your girl Ngobile Makokwa. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new to my channel, thank you for stopping by, and if you are coming back, thank you so much for the support. So back in October, my cat gave birth, and she gave birth, I think the second from last week of October, and it was a Friday and it was cloudy on that day. And on the day when she was giving birth, I was actually working in the house, so I was doing some paperwork in the house because it was cloudy outside and I didn't want to be out in the cold. So I noticed 2 weeks before she gave birth that she's pregnant, and I was thinking that she still has like 6 weeks to go, and I was relaxed, planning to do my research and preparing for her delivery and all that. But girl had to give birth before I prepared everything, and just when I had no idea about this whole gestation period and gestation of kids. So, on that day, I'm in the house. I hear my dog barking outside. He keeps barking non-stop, and I decide that, you know what, let me just go outside and check what's happening. When I get outside, I find 3 kittens, and the mother is nowhere to be found. Just then, I start wondering, where could she be? And I look for her nearby. I can't see her. I start looking for her. I don't see her. I decided to call my partner immediately. He's the one who knows about kids, and I was wishing that on that day he's gonna be around to handle the whole situation, but he was not around. So I call him. I ask him, how do cats behave. I tell him what's happening, and he's so calm, guys. Like, he was so calm, and I was panicking and trying to find a cat, and told me to relax, she'll come back. I decided to move the cats because it's cloudy outside. I can't leave the kittens outside. Like, I can't leave them outside when I don't know where the mother is. And another thing is that my dog is not gonna stop barking because there are kittens there and there's nobody who's taking care of them. So I decided to move the kittens, put them in a box, put them in the house, and go outside to look for her again. And just when I'm coming back, girl approaches me. I don't know from where. She just comes towards me and start cuddling with me. She rolls on the floor. She cuddles with the dog, and I'm just looking at her, and I want to see if she is aware of what just happened. She acted as if nothing happened. She acted as if she didn't just give birth. She was relaxed for a mother who just gave birth, actually. And I started getting worried that what if she's not aware of the whole situation? Because another thing is that one of the kittens was half covered in soil, so she might have thought that she might have thought that she's actually pooping, only to find that she's actually delivering. And another thing is that she kept trying to poop. After that, she kept trying to poop, like, she would press, like, she would dig and try to poop, and nothing would come out, and she'd keep trying. And I just thought that maybe she want to see that, is it gonna happen again? So I decided to take her, put her in the house, and she decided to jump back outside, go outside again, like, grab her, close the windows and the doors, and make sure that there's nowhere for her to escape. Put her next to the kittens. She decided to ignore them and just did her own thing. I put food next to the kittens. She still decided to ignore them. I did everything in my power, and she still decided to ignore them. Then I let her be, and when I noticed that she's actually not taking it well, that's when I knew that actually maybe I have to help her cope and understand the whole situation, understand what's happening, because maybe she doesn't understand because it's her first time. It might be frustrating, overwhelming, it might be too much for her. So I'll help her cope with the whole situation. In the evening, I decided to put her in the same box with the kittens to make sure that at least she doesn't really move, and they'll be able to feed. So I put her in the box, and initially she just decided to roll herself and sleep. But after a few minutes, she started feeding them, and that was such a relief because I was like, whew, at last the daughter who has babies and doesn't want to take care of them is coming around, because that is how it felt. It felt like I just have this daughter who has babies, and she just doesn't want to take care of the babies. She want to get back to her old life, you know. And then she started feeding them. The following day, she had already blended into the situation. She was fine. She would jump out of the box, eat, go outside for the sun, come back and feed them. She was okay. Second day, she was still fine. You know, she was going outside, coming back. And in the evening, I think around 2 3, around that time, she mistakenly slept on one of the kittens and it died. So when I come back from outside, I find her trying to move the kitten, and it's not moving. So initially I'm like, it might be dead, but maybe something will happen, you know. Like I was also hoping for a miracle that it will survive. So I'm like, no, let me leave it there next to the mother. Then if it's still not alive later, I'll move it. I decided to leave it there. When I came back, I noticed that it's actually dead, like, because she had turned her back on it, and she was feeding the other ones and not entertaining it anymore, and doesn't realize that it was dead. But I couldn't move it immediately that time because I was actually doing in and out of the house and I was busy, and I had to move it later. The following day when I wake up, because my partner was around, he's the first person who saw what happened. He goes out, he goes outside, he comes back into the house. He tells me, I don't believe him. I'm like, ah, maybe he's just kidding. I decide to wake up and, you know, do my morning routine, wash my face and all that. And then as soon as I step outside, in the box there is like half the body of one kitten. The mother is outside. No, she was not outside. She was next to the box, and she was just there. And I'm like, okay, so you know, like, that moment was like, no man, maybe she moved the other one somewhere, you know, maybe something ate the kittens and she moved the other one. And I kept hearing sounds of kittens crying, and I just thought that maybe it's somewhere, you know, maybe she hid the other one somewhere. And I would look for it. I just went around the house, outside, looked for the other kitten, and I just couldn't find it. And just there I knew that actually she has eaten the kittens. On top of the challenge of having to deal with a cat giving birth, and it being my first experience, that one was also another challenge. And it was also challenging because I have to try understanding her situation, because the death of the other one really got to her. She might have felt that it is a better way to keep the other one safe. So I'm just there thinking that, you know, as much as human beings experience postpartum depressions and all those things, the same things kind of apply to cats. And I just had to try by all means to become patient with her, to understand what she was feeling at the moment. She was hurt, and she felt that this is the way that she can actually make the situation better. And that kind of triggered a topic, you know, of mental health that I will want us to talk about in future. How we actually adapt to situations and cope with all the things that life has for us, because that was so challenging for me, but mostly for the cat. And I had to, at that moment, I had to understand that it's not even about me. It's not about me having to experience raising kittens, but it's about what she felt at the moment when the whole thing happened. So I hope you guys learned, and if you know more about cats, please do tell me so that I can watch out for more symptoms, how to know when she is almost due and things like that. Thank you so much for watching.